Number 3, Georgia is headed for a possible recount in the race for president, which might be done by hand, which is our top story tonight. So folks, just imagine volunteers recounting nearly 5 million ballots one by hand. The final count is so important because at last check, President-elect Joe Biden is leading President Trump by more than 14,000 votes. 11 Alive's John Sherrick is live in Midtown tonight to explain how this process could work.
The will of the Georgia voters. Is Georgia's vote count accurate? Was there any fraud? Those are some of the questions that a vote recount by hand is supposed to answer. We may know by the end of the week if Georgia is going to recount the votes by hand.
Georgia spent more than $100 million for its new voting machines, and now the state is about to decide whether to set them all aside for now and deploy an army of people to recount all of the actual paper ballot printouts that the machines already counted, recount them by hand, and also recount the hand-marked absentee and mail-in ballots that machines already counted, recount them by hand. No computers.
And it's extremely expensive, and it requires a magnificent amount of people to make this happen.
Amber McReynolds with the National Vote at Home Institute has served as a voting consultant for local and state elections offices in Georgia, and she knows what hand recounts are like. In Georgia's case, workers examining nearly 5 million ballots one by one. Teams of Republicans and Democrats and county elections workers eyeballing each and every ballot and marking down the vote for Trump or the vote for Biden.
So they work together in a team. One person will say vote for Joe Biden or vote for Donald Trump. The other person marks that down.
And then they have to keep rechecking the hand recount to correct human error.
Because you're relying on so many human beings to do that process.
But there's also the chance of finding fraudulent votes or accidental discrepancies. The Trump campaign appointed Georgia Representative Doug Collins to oversee a hand recount, just to make sure everything is on the up and up and accurate.
It's just making sure that every vote counts and that we have a process that people actually trust.
Even if the results end up the same.
In my experience, recounts rarely overturn the results that were originally found. In fact, I can't think of an example of where that occurred.
Georgia's Secretary of State believes the counties can recount all the votes by hand within maybe a couple of weeks. He expects he will announce whether he's going to order that recount by hand by the end of the week.